Good morning YouTube and welcome back to another C# tutorial. In this video we're going to go over three things. One is going to be writing to the console. We are going to go over making the console stay open, and we are going to go over taking in user input using everything that we've learned so far. Okay, so as you've seen in the previous videos, I wrote to the console with console.writeLine. Now, what this is, in a sense, is, I think I've already explained it once, I can't remember, but what this is in a sense is you are going to write this to the console and then it's going to go down a line. And what I mean by that is, if I wrote this as text in here, so if I had this as text in here, what it's going to do is it's going to write this is text without the quotes to the console, and then it's going to press enter, basically, or return. So it's going to basically go like this. It's going to write it to a line and then go down a line like that. Now, the other way is console.write. This is also text. So what this does is it doesn't press enter afterwards. What it does is it's going to write this to the console, and the cursor is going to stay on the same line. So it's going to go like that, and that's it. No space, no nothing. So now we have writing to the console. So if I was gonna, well, we'll get into that in a minute. So now we need, because if I run this code right now, it's gonna pop up the console and then it's gonna just disappear because there's no hold key, basically. There's nothing telling it to wait. So we use console.readKey. What this does is it obtains the next character or function key pressed by the user. Now, it also reads that key and displays it in the console window. So if I were to have this, so if I were to take this one here, put it below this line, you'll kind of see what it does when I do this. So it's going to write this to the console. It's going to pause and wait for user input to press a key on the keyboard. Then it's going to write this on the next line, and then it's going to quit. So I might want to put another one underneath so you can see what it's doing. So let's start. So as you can see, it wrote this is text, and the cursor went down one line. Now if we hit space, we can see that it wrote this is text, or this is also text, from console.write, and it left the cursor on the same line. So you can kind of see what this is text and this is also text does. But if you notice, back here, there's a space. Now, I never entered a space in there, except for when I hit the space bar. So if you remember what it said, the pressed key is displayed in the console window. So if I hit start again and pressed H, now it says H, this is also text. So it took the key that I pressed and it entered it into the console. So I'm thinking that if I hit Shift H, now notice it's a capital H. So Shift isn't one of them that it catches. It only catches a one of the, like a number, a function key. So if I were to press like F4, that worked. But Control Shift Alt, the Windows key, I think that's it, and the function key. I have a function key on my keyboard. And Escape, Number Lock. I don't know if it captures Insert or any of those. Yeah, it does. Okay. So now you kind of know what that does. The way we get around that is by entering true into the read key parentheses. Now what that does is it's basically backwards. You would think it should be false, but what it does is it reads the key, but it does not put it in the console, which is why I think that should be false, not true. So let's hit start. And now if I hit J, now it printed it directly underneath this is text. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of these real quick. I think you kind of understand that now. So now, let's kind of focus on console.write. Now the funny thing about console.write is that, one, you have to have a user, you have to have input. There's no way around it. Write line you don't, because that's how you can get a blank line. But write, you can't get a space unless you put in a space. You have to have something in here. So if I put a capital A, and I'm going to go ahead and put the console.read key true down here. Now if we hit start, now we have an A. Now to show you what console.write does, underneath it, I'm going to write a color console.write with an N. So the console is going to write the A, or it's going to write the A to the console. It's going to stay directly after the A, and then it's going to print N right after the A. And then the cursor is going to stay after the N. And they're going to be side by side. I don't know how well you can see that. But it looks like this if you couldn't see it without that, obviously. So I could write the entire thing on here. So I could write my entire username on here, even though I can't spell. Well, I really can't spell, can I? I forgot how to spell my username there for a minute. Still don't know if I'm spelling it right because I'm spelling it up and down. Yep, I spelled it wrong. Ah, it's horrible. So now if I hit start, you can see, I hope you can see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see that it spelled out my entire username. Or not my entire username, but a lot of it. So you can kind of see what that did. There we go. And there's no way around that unless, like, if you didn't want it on the same line, the only way I could suggest it is to put console.writeLine, or, because if you put a console.writeLine underneath it and hit play, then, well, yeah, that works. Then it goes down one line. So, if you were going to write console.write and Terry's, and then console.write Insomnius, they put them side by side like so. Now if you wanted to enter a space in between these, you can either do a console.write with a space, so you have a blank text in between here, which will place a space up here, or the easiest way to do it is to, after the first word, put a space, and it'll enter the space in there. Or before the second word, put a space in it, and it works the same. I really hope that that makes sense. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a question. So, how old are you? So when I write this question, it pops up like this. So it says, how old are you? Quotation or question mark, because it's a question, and then a colon with another space. Now, what we're going to do is down here, we're going to take user input. So the funny thing about this is that now we don't need this console.read key, because if we come down here and go string, and we'll give it a variable of age equals console.readLine. So what this does is it reads the next line of characters from the standard input stream, which is on the console. Now, because we have this, and we hit start, now if you hit a character, you can type in whatever you want. And I am 30. Then you press enter, and it breaks. So now, what I want to do is I'm going to region write variable value to the console. Now to do this, it's very simple. You do a console.write or write line, and below that I want this. I want the console.read key, and I'm going to just type in my variable, age, which gives me the value. It'll print the value, not age. So if I hit start and then I press 30, you can see that it wrote 30 below it. And we'll get into some more nifty little console tricks later. Another thing is that now we can go int, and this will be age 1, and this will be age 2. So in here on console.writeLine, I'm going to write string input equals plus age 1. Don't worry about this for right now. We'll get into that here in a little bit. And then I'm going to do a console.writeLine int input equals plus age 2, not age 12. Now age 2 is going to equal. Now we have to convert the number into an integer. So you go convert dot to int 32 parenthesis console.readline. And what that'll do is it'll convert your number into an integer and store it as age 2. Now another way, int age 3, we can do an int. I think this will work. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, so yeah, I said that earlier. I should have remembered that. But you take age 2 and you convert it to an int 32. Then you can print them to the console. If I press start, press 30, and then it's going to basically ask me again. Now it says string input equals 30, input equals 30. Because I took two console.read keys, what I should have done was a console.readline, or a convert dot to int 32 age 1. Now it's going to take your input, store it as a string of age 1, then it's going to convert age 1 to an integer, store it as age 2, and then it's going to print out both of them. So 30, press enter, and there we have it. And I think that might be about it for right now. One thing, let me think if I can remember. One thing you might want to know about variables is LValue and RValue. Something I forgot to mention before. Where's it at? So let me go ahead and get rid of these, and I'm going to go ahead and comment these out. So that they don't interfere with later stuff. So with variables, we have what we call LValues and RValues. So an LValue can appear on either the left-hand side or the right-hand side of your declaration. So a left-hand value would be like int k equals 9, int g equals 10. So those are L values. What they mean by an L value is it can be on the left or the right hand side. So your so k can equal g and g can equal k. Okay. A right-handed value means that the can only appear on the right but not the left. And what they mean by that is the actual value. Did I have that backwards? Yeah. I think I have that backwards. No, that's right. L value is your variable. And R value is your value. So where I said that int k equals 9, you can't have 9 equals 10. Because you can't have a number on the left side. When declaring a variable, or when messing with like this, because if we did an if statement, that would work, but I'm not getting into that, not yet. So this will not work. And I reckon that's about it for right now. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comments below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if I'm doing good. Give me a thumbs down if you don't think so. But if you do think I'm not doing very good, leave it in the comments so that I know, and I know what to change. Again, I apologize for my cough, and if I'm talking kind of low, it is 3:25 in the morning, and I don't want to wake anybody up. So, again, I will catch y'all later in the next video.